There we go. Oh, there we go. You look good. Here we go. Take a look at the person next to you. Said God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Here we come. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. You sound good. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize a God in you. Yes, I do. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of, to the bridge, every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Now greet each other, say hi, give a handshake or a hug if you're not an introvert. We come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love.
Yeah, all right. Do you feel the love? Room? Sanctuary, whatever we're going to call it. It is a sanctuary, isn't it?
Amen.
Because we bring it together. We make it a sanctuary as we come together in love, in the spirit of light and love. So thank you. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Parker. So glad to have you with us today. I'm David Howard, and they tell me I'm the minister here. So, but I'm happy to be here, happy to be that here for this community. So welcome. Thank you again for being here on this beautiful Sunday morning. I have a couple of things I want to tell you about, remind you about this morning. One is that we have a welcome table over here. And if you're new to our community, there's a card here that we would love for you to complete, just to let us know that you're here, and so we have your contact information. I promise we won't be sending you lots of emails, and we won't be calling you, any of that stuff. We just like to know that you're here, and we like to welcome you. So please fill out one of those if you're willing to do that. Anybody who would like a name tag? Excuse me. Got choked up. Yeah, if you would like a name tag, please see Jeanette right here, raising her hand. We do have name tags if you'd like to have one. They're really helpful, especially for those of us who are new and trying to learn names. So if you're willing to have one and would like to receive one, we'd appreciate you wearing it. I would appreciate you wearing it because it does help me remember your name as well. On the table in the back over here where you see some bags and boxes, that is the collection that we are doing in July for the Crisis Center. The Crisis Center helps those who are facing, dealing with domestic violence, and we want to support them. We usually do it in December, but also they're doing it now in July. Products that would be like toiletries, somebody brought, I think, blankets or something like that. Anything that would be helpful for people who are dealing with that and helping people dealing with domestic violence. Also, I want to remind anyone who's willing to help us out with fellowship on Sundays. We always like to have some food and coffee really before service and after. So if you would be willing to bring some things, or if you'd be willing to host the fellowship, please see Felina over here. She'd be happy to welcome you and to accept your great help. So anyone who's willing to do that, we would appreciate it. Also, I want to remind you that we do have a prayer request box, and there are prayer cards on the table in the back. So if you have a prayer request, we were talking about this morning about prayer, and sometimes I think we might not have the same idea about prayer as maybe some others do. And what we want you to know is that we pray affirmatively. We hold the truth. We help you to remember your truth and to embody that truth in what we call spiritual mind treatment. It's a form of prayer that is taught in Centers for Spiritual Living. And what we ask you to do, if you'd like, is to fill out a prayer request and put it in the box. The box will be back as you leave today. And just know that these are held in consciousness, that we hold you in prayer as you ask. And it can be anything. It can be a concern that you have, or a celebration that you have, or something coming up in your life that you just might want to have someone support you in. And that's really as simple as that. So we want to. You do?
I don't know what's coming up.
Well, that's a good thing. We don't know what's coming up, do we? So we always want to hold the highest and best. So the prayer box will be back in the back. And yes, thank you for that. I think that's the only things I wanted to remind you of this morning. So I want to invite Colleen up now to do our... Luann. Sorry about that. Yeah. I know your name. That's why you need name tags. Come on, Luann.
Touche.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Well, today we're talking about integrity. And integrity to me means wholeness, which is easy peasy, except for all the fears that come up. So here's what Ernest Holmes says in Science of Mind, his Science of Mind book, about having dominion over ourselves and our fears. Act as though you already have dominion over fear, as though fear is a phantom. And so everything you have been afraid of is unreal. Declare the truth by saying there's nothing to be afraid of. That you no longer entertain any images of fear. That God is the only power there is. That this good, which is the only power there is now operating in your affairs. Know that God is omnipotent. Know that the truth instantly, effectively, and permanently destroys every fear and every effective fear. Know that you are governed by infinite intelligence. Know that you are directed by divine guidance and that you are compelled to think and act constructively. Therefore, you may know that everything you do, say, or think carries with it divine authority. Wholeness already exists, but your wholeness is in your hands. Hence, it is not enough to say, God is whole, which is, of course, a true statement. But this statement must be made personal. The wholeness of God is my wholeness. The power of God is my power. The presence of God is in me. The mind of God is my mind. The strength of God is my strength. The joy of God is my joy. I am the wholeness of God. Thank you.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on and how I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit, and who we are, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world.
So I invite you to settle in where you are. Feel the chair supporting your body. Feel your feet firmly planted on the floor as you allow the energy of Mother Earth to rise to meet you, knowing that you are eternally connected, one with that life energy that lives itself as our Mother Earth, the plants, the animals, the air that we breathe. We are one. As you center your awareness here and now, knowing that you are supported energetically, breathe into your heart and feel your heart opening to those who are around you, in front of you, on each side of you, behind you, and feel yourself connected, one with each other. As we come into this space, we open our hearts and we co-create this resonant field of love and light and support for ourselves and for each other. When we feel that energy, we allow ourselves to truly just breathe into it, relax into it, and let it wash over us. But we know that in this moment, there is that one life. The one life that we often call God, Source, the universe. life itself, breathing us, beating our hearts, animating these forms. And we know that in that life we are truly one with each other, one with all creation. And we know that we are here at this time, in this place, right here in this moment, to be the heart and the hands and the voice of Spirit, of love on the earth. To allow yourself in this moment, once again, to breathe into your heart. Maybe even put your hand on your heart and affirm for yourself, I am the heart of God, the heart of the universe, the heart of life. I am the heart. And then extend your hands in front of you, if you will, and just affirm for yourself, I am the hands. I am the hands of Spirit, of God. I am the hands of love, right here, right now, in this moment. And place your hand on your throat chakra, if you will, and just know too for yourself, I am the voice. I am the voice of Spirit. I am here in this moment to bring the consciousness of heaven, unity, oneness, wholeness, integrity. I am here to bring that upon the earth, to bring heaven to the earth. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of Spirit. And truly allow yourself to claim that truth. And to embody that truth in every cell of your body. Allow every cell of your body to come alive with that knowing, so that you embody that affirmation, that truth. And as you do that, you affirm for yourself and make a renewed commitment to be that. To be the heart and the hands and the voice of truth, of love, of light. And as we spend just a short time in the silence, I invite you to be in that space and allow your own awareness to rise in you of how you might more fully be that in the world. And as you breathe that in, breathe it all the way down through the bottom of your feet, grounding that awareness, truly making that firm right here and right now. And let us sing that once again together. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice, Spirit on earth.
I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of Spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. and held my defenses in front of me. Not knowing my heart was imprisoned till you gave me wisdom to find the key. I'm ready to begin. I am open and love's coming in when you move through me. When you move through me, you give me the confidence to take back my innocence through me. When you move through me, now I've always lived in delusion. I am trapped
Oh. Oh, have mercy.
Got it.
When you move through me. Nothing we can't do. If we just let go. If we just let go. That's sometimes the struggle, isn't it? Just letting go, letting life, letting God, letting Source just move through us. I had this opportunity. Jay and I went to spend a few days in the mountains this past week. We went down to the mountains around Creede, Colorado. Amazing. Beautiful. We stayed in this cabin that had no electricity, no television, no Wi-Fi. And I was a little bit frightened of that at first. What am I going to do without my phone? I've become so addicted to that thing in my hand, which I'm loath to admit. But it was one of the most amazing few days I've had in a very long time. Got to do some hiking and some reading and some meditating and some journaling and some napping and some eating. But it was such an amazing opportunity to be in the flow of God, of life, and to reconnect with that at a level that I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I really haven't experienced in a while. I got to watch the elk and the moose and the deer and the hawks and a badger and the mountains and the aspens and just amazing connection with Spirit, with the Source, flowing through all of that. And we're right there by the river. And man, it was such a blessing to be there. I was just reminded of this song that kept coming to me. And after Laura sings, I hesitate to sing anything, but there's this song that was written by a woman named Rose Saunders, and it's, "There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul." And I remember that river, that life that flows through all of that is the same life, the same river that flows in you and flows in me. And that we're all one in that life. And what I was awakened to, as I was thinking about, there were times when I would go for a hike and I would be sitting on this rock. I sat on this rock and I didn't see another person. All I saw was a deer or a moose or the river. And I felt so connected, and I realized, why is it in nature that I feel so connected to God? And in that space, especially, was that there was no competing vibration. There was no competing frequency. There was not electricity, there was not Wi-Fi, there was not television, cable, there was nothing to compete with God, except in my own mind, right? My own thoughts. And so I was able to hopefully sort of get into that. And it was so amazing. Again, I don't know how you feel about this kind of stuff, but I was sitting there on this rock, and I had a conversation, a real conversation with my mother, who has been on the other side for 47 years. And we had this wonderful connection where she was reminding me about my connection. She was reminding me about reconnecting with joy and with life and with my own purpose. She was reminding me about that. Reminding me of this knowing that I have that knowing, I don't know, maybe it's just a belief or a bias, but I believe that that's what we all want. We all want to experience that deep, abiding connection with Spirit, with God, with Source. Would you agree with me that that's really what we want? And we want to be able to live that. I know that's what I want. I didn't want to come back. I even told Jay, we're going to have to come up with a visiting schedule because I'm staying. You can come visit me, but I'm staying here. But what I realized is that yes, I was connected to that, but most of us can't live on the mountaintop all the time, right? Most of us do live in this environment, and how do we really maintain that? That this nature is a sanctuary. It's a place where many of us can feel connected, right? But it's a place we visit, and I think it's our opportunity to create that for ourselves. I was reminded to create that for myself. And that in order for us to truly live in integrity, in wholeness, knowing our wholeness, and not just our individual wholeness, but our wholeness with each other. That's part of our wholeness. Our wholeness with the world. Our wholeness with all of creation, all of life. To live in integrity with that, I believe, is what we're called to. And how do we do that? I believe it's important for us to truly connect with that flow of life that is within us. To create for ourselves a spaciousness. And I know that we can't all have a time away like that. I get that. But I want to encourage us all to create for ourselves some idea of Sabbath. Some space and time. It doesn't have to be a whole day. It'd be great if it could be a whole day. It could be an hour. It could be half an hour. But a time to really connect with that flow of life that is flowing, living, vibrantly, wholly, fully as you. Uniquely as you. To create a quiet space for yourself to reconnect with that. Yeah? Again, I don't know why these songs keep coming to me, but there's this great song that Michael Gott wrote called I Will Make a Quiet Place. And I think it's important for us to honor that for ourselves. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. So we make a quiet place within our minds, within our hearts, within our lives, so that we can wait upon the Lord. And I really appreciate George Loms's interpretation of Scripture when he says waiting can also mean to bind together. Binding together. I bind together with that self-existent God within me, right? And so we spend time with that, and then it's also important for us to connect all of the pieces of ourselves. I was reminded, I mentioned Ken Wilber last week, but I was listening to Ken Wilber again, and he talks about the three selves. Sometimes we think about, well, there's my true self, my Christ self, or whatever it is we want to call that, my divine nature. I have that, but there's also what we call sometimes the ego, the false self, however you want to term that. But Wilber talks about three selves. He does talk about the true self, the Christed self. He talks about the healthy ego that says, yes, I am here, I am embodied, I am this person living here and now. And it's important for us to claim that. And then there's the part of us that is the persona, what we present to the world. Can we bring all of that together? Can we truly bring that true self, the I am that says, this is David Howard standing here in this moment, being all that I could possibly be in the now moment? Yes. And what am I showing to the world? Can I bring all of that together into one? Am I living that truth? That's integrity. That's wholeness. And that's our work, I think, isn't it? Yeah? Am I talking too much today? And then the other piece of that, too, is, am I truly aligned to my purpose? Am I aligned to my spirit? Am I aligned to that which wants to express as me? Right? Because we are all one. There is one life. There is one power. There is one presence. But that one presence expresses uniquely as each one of us. We each have our own expression of spirit. And I believe that we are all here to express that in a unique way. I believe we have the same purpose. I believe we all have the same purpose. And that is to embody and to be love on the earth. And to bring that to bear in everything that we do. How we do that, I think, is unique to all of us. So can we be in touch with that, be aware of that, truly live that? And I think it's important as we move through that to, as we were talking about prayer earlier, this idea of prayer, how can we use this prayer to bring us into that? And I think spiritual mind treatment is a perfect way to do that. It's about knowing there is only one, knowing that you are that one expressing, knowing that you can realize every aspect of that one life, the wholeness, the prosperity, the health, all of that you understand is love and light and peace and joy, and you realize all of that in this spiritual mind treatment. And what arises from that is gratitude, right? Gratitude, thanksgiving, praise, all of that. And then we release that. Release it to the law, knowing that it is so. Right? And that's what our practitioners do with you. When we say prayer, they're not about, dear God, help this, that, but they're about affirming for you who you are. So call on them for that. Now, how do we make that shift? I talked last week about the holy shift. How do we make that shift? S-H-I-F-T. It's soul awareness. S, soul awareness, spirit awareness. Are we aware of our own spirit, our own unique expression, and continue to check in? Create that time, that Sabbath, that time of connection for you. Soul awareness. H for me is honest self-reflection. Am I living in integrity? Am I living my wholeness? Am I doing? Am I saying? Am I being? Am I thinking in a way that is in alignment with my wholeness? And I know sometimes we shift from that. But our opportunity then is to come back to that, right? To shift. Come back to, oh, I see, I was doing something else. I was getting into fear. I was judging. I was blaming. I was criticizing. I was, whatever. Check in with yourself. Be honest with ourselves. And then make a different choice. The I for me again is intention. What do I intend to live? Am I intending to live in integrity? I think it's important, as I talked about before, it's this, to me, intention is like tuning that radio dial to the frequency that you want to tune into. Sometimes, you get a little staticky, tune it back up. This is what I intend to live. This is who I intend to be. This is what I intend to do with my life in the world. This is what I intended to say. This is what I was intending to think. And then do something about that. It's about living the truth that we know, right? Living in integrity. The F for me is about focus. What are you focusing on? We found this path that we were walking, this trail, and we had to cross a creek. And we were like, how are we ever going to get across this creek? So we finally found this like 2x6 that was laid across the creek, and it was probably about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 feet across the creek. So, and it was, it's really about this wide, right? So my first reaction was, I don't want to fall in this creek because I know it's going to be damn cold if I fall in this creek. So I didn't want to fall in the creek. So what was I focusing on? Like last week, where are we focusing? So what I recognize, if I focus on where I want to go rather than focusing on where I am, then I could make it across. And I did. It was easy. When I was focusing on where I wanted to go, I just walked that way. I noticed that Jay did it a little bit differently. He was watching his feet and kind of lost a little balance. And then I reminded him, focus on where you want to go. Focus on where you want to go. What are we focusing on? Because that's where you will be guided. That's where you'll end up. And then T for me, lastly, is trust. Are you trusting your own spirit? Are you trusting guidance? Are you trusting your connection with the allness that is, the one mind? Are you trusting? Am I trusting that what I'm being guided to do, where I'm guided to go, is where I will be fulfilled, or where I will fulfill my purpose? And I think for me, sometimes that can be challenging because fear shows up. You really want me to do that? How am I ever going to do that? How will I have enough money? How will I have enough time? How will I have enough of whatever if I choose to do that? But I think our opportunity, again, of living in integrity is living in integrity with our spirit, with that which we are guided to do, and knowing that it is ours to do. Now, we can get involved in doing stuff that's not ours to do. But again, check in. Listen. Spend time with your spirit. Recognize what you're doing in the world. Am I really, as we talked about last week, am I accepting 100% responsibility for my life? And the book that I'm sort of using as a basis for these talks is this 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, which, as I said last week, I think it should be 15 Commitments of Conscious Living. Am I taking responsibility? Am I speaking authentically? Sharing myself? Am I feeling my feelings? Am I making commitments? Am I making agreements? And am I keeping my agreements? So how can we live in integrity and wholeness? Again, not just thinking of it as our personal, individual realization of wholeness. That's key. But our wholeness with each other, our wholeness as a community, our wholeness as humanity, and our wholeness with all of creation, and truly making choices so that we can live in integrity with all of that. And be honest with ourselves about the things we do, the choices that we make, the things we say about or to other people or about life in general. Are we truly coming from that place of wholeness? And again, I believe if we're coming from that place of integrity and wholeness, our commitment must be to live love. To live love. And living love to me means that we are truly being the heart and the hands and the voice of spirit. Yeah. And in that way, I believe we do fulfill our purpose. And in that way, I do believe that we do bring heaven, the consciousness of heaven upon the earth, not just so that we songs that keep coming to me, not so that we can return to the garden like the great philosopher Joni Mitchell talked about in her song. We are stardust. We are golden. We've got to get back to the garden. That garden is where we commune with Source, where we commune with nature, where we commune with each other before our fears drew us out. So keep coming back to the garden. create that space in your life, in your mind, in your heart, to come back to the garden. Commune with your own spirit. Commune with all that is. Bring all of that together in your actions. And together, we manifest the garden, don't we? Yeah? So let's take an opportunity to take a breath again. Breathe into that place within you, your own garden of Eden, your own awareness of your wholeness, your connection with Source, Spirit, God, the universe, all that is. Where you, in the center of your being, commune. You walk, and you talk, and you feel, and you ask. You commune in that space of union. Right here, right now. Breathe into that knowing. Allowing the stillness to be in your mind. Allow your heart to be still. Allow your body to be still. Creating that quiet space where you wait upon the Lord, where you bind together as one. And you make that recommitment to embodying that truth, to living to the best of your ability, in integrity with your wholeness, integrity with the wholeness, your connection, your unity with all of creation. I live my life in integrity with the life that is living itself as me. I live my life in integrity with the life that is living itself as me. Let's say that together. I live my life in integrity with the life that is living itself as me. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Breathing? Everybody awake? So, thank you. And now is the time in our service where we do have the opportunity to share, to support this ministry. And I appreciate your generosity, your giving, all the ways that you support this community. So as we do that, I invite you to hold that in your heart, in your hands. If you've given electronically or any other way, hold that in your heart as well. Breathe deeply and allow that love to extend out from your heart to bless everything that you are going to share today and anything and everything that you have shared already. And we know that love is the source of all. And we celebrate our abundance as we let that light and that love flow freely through us as our gifts and offerings today. And so it is.
It's a very happy day when there's only good things to say. When you feel that you're doing takes you the way you should be moving. blessedly. I'm learning by practice to push away those evil tactics and the things that creep in, that dirty the state I'm in, and leave myself clear and know that life is not to fear. When times all go gray, they will surely lead to brighter days, and beauty has a secret way of making things all okay. Now all I see is me there, breaking free where I could surely be all that was meant for me, and live my life carefree. Amazing grace has found its place in me. Faith, trusting love will always reign free in me. Amazing grace has found a place to see the real and beauty me who listens selflessly. Lord knows the winding road just keeps you moving on, and those wings beaming show you the very meaning. Now all I see is me there, breaking free where I can surely be me, and live my life carefree. Amazing grace has found its place in me, and faith, trusting love will always reign free in me. Oh, amazing grace has found a place to see the real and beauty me who listens selflessly. Yeah, who listens selflessly. Yeah. Amazing, life is amazing. Oh, yeah, amazing.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Just a reminder that our practitioners are here today to pray with you, hold you in prayer, do spiritual mind treatment with you, anything that you would like. If they are wearing a stole, they are here to be with you, and he'll go in the back. So please ask them for that if you would like it. So let's all take a moment. If you're willing and able to stand, let's do that. Feel that life energy flowing through you right now, all the way from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, all the way through your palms of your hands, knowing that you are that life flow, living itself in beauty and wholeness and wonder, in majesty, and know that all that we receive today is an expression of that divine flow. We are grateful and knowing that we are prosperous and we are abundant. We claim it. We are thankful for it. We allow it to be and know that it is so. And together we say, and so it is.
Here we go. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine. We are a light, yes we are. We are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light. We are a light in this world. We shine, we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, we shine, we shine so bright. We shine so bright.
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's all claim together. I am a light in the world. Together. I am a light in the world, and I let my light shine. Together. And I let my light shine. Go forth and shine. Have a great week.